Did you know there's a really important difference between a sponsor and a godparent? Hi, my name is Dinah McAlintal, and I'm with TeamInitiation.com. In the order of Christian initiation of adults, there are two significant roles that take place in the life of a seeker toward baptism. These two roles, these two people, are companions who walk with the seeker as they are preparing to celebrate the sacraments of baptism, confirmation, and the Eucharist. And oftentimes, catechumenate ministers will talk about the sponsor or the godparent as if they were the same role, and sometimes interchange those two words. But the catechumenate process really sees these as two distinct roles, even though they might be fulfilled by the same person. If you take a look at paragraphs 10 and 11 in the order of Christian initiation of adults, you'll see the description of these two distinct roles. Paragraph 10 talks about the sponsor. The sponsor, I like to think of the sponsor as a gift that the parish gives to a seeker as they are beginning their journey to the font. The sponsor really is the person who will get to know the seeker, to know what their desires are, their hopes, their doubts are, what their questions are. They're really kind of the first responder in the life of the community for their seeker. And the sponsor will be the one who stands with the seeker at all of the rituals as they are preparing for initiation. So the first ritual where the sponsor plays their official role is at what is called the rite for entrance into the catechumenate, or what used to be called the rite of acceptance into the order of catechumens. The sponsor speaks to the readiness and desire to follow Christ that the seeker will say out loud in that ritual. The sponsor introduces their companion to the parish, and then after that ritual, they will walk with the new catechumen and be their companion in the life of the community. And so really the ideal sponsor is not only someone who knows the companion and can create a loving relationship with them, having conversations about their own faith with them, but also knows the community, knows the parish. And so oftentimes it is a person from the parish that will serve as a parish sponsor for the catechumen. Now sometimes a seeker will come to this process saying they already have someone that they would like to be their godparent or their sponsor. And that's wonderful. That's beautiful. And a person can have more than one sponsor. There's no limit to how many sponsors a person can have. Now, the distinct role of the sponsor is that they are a temporary companion. Not that they can't be a companion to the seeker for a long time, but that the official nature of a sponsor is temporary. It begins at the rite for entrance, and it concludes just before the rite of election, which is the ritual, the turning point ritual that takes place usually at the beginning of Lent, right for those catechumens who are going to be ready for initiation at the very next Easter Vigil. So, sponsor role begins at rite for entrance and ends just before the rite of election. So it's temporary. A person can have more than one sponsor. A person can even have like a family being their sponsor. And that often works really well for children who are catechumens, to have a family that walks alongside the family of the child who is preparing for initiation. Now, the godparent is a different role, but it could be fulfilled by the person who served as the sponsor. There are a few more particularities that we want to attend to for the godparent, because this is an official canonical role of the church, and they will be the witnesses, the official witnesses, kind of the guarantor of the catechumen who is elected for baptism. And so turn to paragraph 11 in the Order of Christian Initiation of Adults. And that paragraph is actually quite beautiful. It says that the godparent is chosen by the catechumen, whereas the sponsor is typically a person that the parish chooses to give to the new seeker. So the catechumen chooses his or her own godparent. And the church says that you can have more than one godparent, but no more than two. It really is kind of a co-parenting role. And the church also says that if you have two godparents, it needs to be a man and a woman. They don't need to actually be married to one another, but it needs to be a man and a woman if a catechumen chooses to have two. But you really only need one godparent. In paragraph 11, it continues that this person is chosen by the catechumen for their example of faith, for their gift of friendship that they have shown to this person. And this role is lifelong, for the life of the godparent. The local community needs to approve of the godparent, to attest to their own worthiness to serve in this very important role. And canon law gives us some further criteria to look for. You'll want to look at Code of Canon Law, canons number 874, 892, and 893. They intend to fulfill their role to the best of their ability. They live out the Christian lifestyle, specifically in the areas that are shown in paragraph 75 of the Order of Christian Initiation of Adults, where they are people of the Word, they are people of the Christian way of life and community. They pray and have a deep life of liturgy and prayer. And they are apostolic witnesses, where their actions show to the world who Christ is in their life. They need to be at least 16. This is a mature role. They must be Catholic, baptized and confirmed, and participating in the Eucharist. They don't need to be perfect, but they need to genuinely strive to be a role model. If they are married, they need to be validly married according to the laws of the church. And they cannot be the mother or father of the person to be baptized. And they need to make this a lifelong commitment to their companion, the person that they are serving a godparent to. So this role officially begins at the rite of election and continues for the life of the godparent or the life of the person to be baptized. It is that important. There's one thing that the Order of Christian Initiation says that is really very beautiful. In paragraph 11, it says the godparent's task is to show the catechumen in a friendly way how to practice the gospel in personal and social life, to help in times of doubt or anxiety, to bear witness to and watch over the catechumen's growth in baptismal life. Those are beautiful and significant responsibilities that the godparent has. And so take a look at those two things. Making sure that we fulfill these two different roles is a way that we show that it takes an entire community to help accompany a person to Jesus, from the beginning of that journey all the way to the end of that journey, where they encounter Christ face to face. And so it is a beautiful way of modeling the body of Christ in our church and in our own lives. So hopefully that gives you some ideas on how to choose good sponsors and how to help your catechumens select good godparents for their life of faith. My name is Diana McAlintle. Come over to teaminitiation.com for even more resources to help you in your ministry. Thanks so much for listening.